Hi and welcome to a review of the recently updated Mini Cooper. Revised to include an all-new grille and fascia as well as new interior tech. The most important thing for the brand is that this car that sells so well globally is still instantly recognizable as a Mini. Of course, a Mini is inherently known for its go-kart-like handling and wheel in each corner styling, and of course in recent times the pops and crackles from the exhaust note on particularly the sportier versions. But this one's a little bit different. No pops and crackles, and indeed no exhaust. For this one is all electric. So featuring the drivetrain technology from the BMW i3, in the Mini the electric motor is actually where the engine would be in a conventional car. And it slots in the production line for improved efficiency. And obviously in the Mini it's a front wheel drive application, whereas in the i3 it was rear wheel driven. In this application you're looking at 135 kilowatts, obviously instantly available torque. The only downside to this battery, it's fairly small, so it's 32.6 kilowatt hours. So the likes of the Porsche Taycan, they're dealing with 90 kilowatt batteries these days. So the range in this Mini South Africa says it's 215 kilometers. That's a little bit optimistic. We charged it fully overnight and you're looking at around 140, 150 kilometers. Depending on which mode you put it in. You could put it in a range extender mode, which cuts out air conditioning and the like. Otherwise you can put it in a sportier setting and then obviously your range depletes. Now the thing about 140 kilometers worth of range is, in the back of your mind you're going, well, it's only 140 kilometers, but if you consider that most South Africans, and there's studies that show this, only drive around between 20 and 30 kilometers a day, if you overnight charge it like we did, you've got 140 kilometers. That kind of lasts most people almost a week before they have to charge again. Look, obviously there's infrastructure challenges, but the charge stations will improve. There'll be a lot more available, but the general trend, as we've seen, is for people to charge overnight, a bit like your mobile phone. So what I've really enjoyed about the Mini package, and unlike the Porsche Taycan that I drove recently, is that the Mini has a two-stage regenerative braking program. So in normal driving mode, you can't really feel the regenerative braking, but you can dial it in so that it's actually quite noticeable, and you can learn to drive the car without actually using the brakes, so only on the throttle. So accelerate and decelerate with no brakes, and you can actually come to a complete stop without using the brakes. And obviously by doing that, the regenerative braking is buying you range. Minimal, but it's still, buying you range, especially if you're around town. It's actually quite fun to drive, fun to get used to. There we go, no braking, and it's braked on its own. So despite being relatively heavy, this car weighs just over 1400 kilograms. They've managed to package the battery under the floor so that the Mini still keeps its 50-50 weight distribution front to rear, which is really good fun. So still obviously instantly recognizable as a Mini. This updated Mini Cooper SE has an optional collection package fitted to it. And on the inside that includes fantastic cloth covered sport seats, while on the exterior you get a multi-tone roof, which is quite novel, and what I think are cool looking 17-inch power spoke alloy wheels. Now if we make this turn over here, I foresee something special waiting for us. Let's go have a look. So by the early 1960s, a gentleman by the name of John Cooper realized the sporting potential of the Mini package. Obviously lightweight in nature and a wheel at each corner design. And he convinced the guys at Austin to let him tinker a little bit. And what you see here is one of around 4,000 examples of a Morris Cooper S, the first time the Cooper name appeared on a Mini. And tinker he did. So it's got an upgraded motor to 1071cc, some sporting credentials. It's got some bucket seats, and famously the speedometer reads to 120 miles an hour, which is good fun. While it's fantastic to compare the two cars side by side in terms of the evolution of the exterior package, if you're over 6 foot tall like myself, you're pretty grateful for the evolution of the Mini package's interior in terms of size and comfort. But just imagine hooning this car around a mountain pass, and yet after 64, when these things were brought in, these cars were winning the Monte Carlo rally and a lot more rallies after that. In terms of impossibly small 4-speed gearbox, nice thin steering wheel, and obviously the center mounted speedometer, which is carried over to the newer cars. Absolutely fantastic. So some 60 years later, this is a fairly significant moment in the evolution of the Mini. The original car was designed to be for the people, fun to drive and efficient. The new car, especially in all electric guys, is still fun to drive. It's as efficient as you can get because it doesn't use any fuel. And in terms of for the people, I have a feeling that because it's so instantly recognizable as a Mini, as opposed to the built from the ground up products that are coming now, Porsche Taycan, Jaguar I-Pace, I have a feeling that it'll appeal to more people. It might get a few more people driving the car. In terms of affordability, well, that's all relative. And in South Africa, the price of EVs will come down. A lot of that's out of the control of the importer at the moment. But yeah, really good fun. And yeah, look at us now.